Brought to you by ContentBinger.com. Actus Reus. Let's start here. There must be an illegal act, or illegal omission to act. And the person committing the act must generally have a legal duty to act. In America, we do not punish people for bad thoughts alone. What about involuntary acts? Generally, the act must be performed voluntarily for someone to be held criminally liable. One of the main reasons we punish for criminal acts is deterrence. That is, to discourage, in an attempt to prevent, persons from committing such a criminal act in the future, by making the punishment fit the crime. Society generally considers involuntary acts as non-blameworthy. However, not all voluntary acts are blameworthy. Just because an act is voluntary, does not mean that a person is automatically criminally liable. For example, someone may be under an external threat of force, a duress defense. Another person may have a mental disorder that leads them to believe they have no choice, insanity defense. What about intoxicated people? Generally, voluntary intoxication is no excuse for breaking the law. Intoxication is not a defense available to someone who committed a crime after voluntarily getting drunk, getting high, or whatever else people do to voluntarily intoxicate themselves. On the other hand, a person may have a defense if the intoxication was not voluntary. Example 1. Someone at a nightclub is absolutely trashed, drives home drunk, and kills someone. Intoxication is not a defense for defendant 1. Example 2. Someone at that same nightclub is the designated driver and has their non-alcoholic soda roofied. 10 minutes later, the roofied person leaves the club and falls asleep at the wheel, killing someone. There probably is an involuntary intoxication defense for defendant 2, because he did not willingly consume the substance which made him fall asleep. Notice how example 2 has an actual and proximate cause involved, in terms of the roofie being the actual and proximate cause of the death. But involuntariness makes the person who did the roofing more likely to be liable. Example 3. Let's say a third person at the nightclub consumes no alcohol or hard drugs, but knows that caffeine makes them a poor driver, as legal as it may be to consume caffeine and drive. They consume 8 Red Bulls at the club and begin driving home. They kill someone, presumably because the caffeine affected his driving judgment. Defendant 3 probably will not have an involuntary intoxication defense because he drank the Red Bull willingly, and even though it is legal to consume caffeine, a court may find this was a reckless amount for someone who knows the effects it has on him. With more facts, of course, this may be debatable. Bonus example 4, tying into other voluntariness law, a fourth person is at the nightclub, and they don't consume hard drugs or alcohol. This person regularly suffers seizures from caffeine and flashing lights. They consume 1 Red Bull and stay at the club for 20 minutes watching a DJ do a show, which has some flickering lights, but nothing crazy. Defendant 4 kills someone on drive home because they have a seizure, and a medical report shows the seizure was due to caffeine consumption and a delayed reaction to the lights emitting from the club. Defendant 4 probably will not have an involuntary intoxication defense because he drank the Red Bull willingly. But as an added bonus, example 4 might also have an element of recklessness in terms of voluntarily getting behind the wheel after consuming caffeine, knowing they were prone to seizures from caffeine and lights. This could satisfy the Actus Reus requirement for the alleged murder. But this is a gray area which might allow for a defense lawyer to request lower sentencing, such as manslaughter. The point is, defendant 4 is still probably criminally liable for killing the person, and how reckless their voluntary action was will determine whether the law views it as enough to satisfy the Actus Reus element of law.
Please watch part 2 of Criminal Law, Actus Reus, to better understand the law concept. You can find it on ContentBinger's YouTube channel or website. Thanks for watching. For more content, check out ContentBinger.com.